Hey, Marissa, I had a really nice time today.
Oh my god, I'm so happy to hear that. I really enjoyed my time with you too.
So, I know this is only our third date, but I'm really feeling connection with you. This will be my first time dating anyone, but I think we could really make it work. Well, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I like you back. Let's test the waters. Nothing wrong with that. Plus, you have a really good job, so I know you can take care of me in an emergency. Not that my uber-rich family wouldn't help, but in case something happens.
Well, financial stability is always really important in a relationship.
Exactly. I work too, so it's not like it'd be one-sided either. Okay, so I guess we're official now.
Yeah, wow. I've never confessed before, so I wasn't sure what I was supposed to do. So, what now? We introduced each other to our parents?
Let's wait a little so we can surprise them. It's still super early in our relationship. We haven't even started talking about living together or getting married yet.
Whoa! Slow down. You're going way too fast there.
Sorry, I know. Sorry for getting carried away. I'm just so excited to have a chance to imagine a future with you.
Of course. Same here. We'll get to all of that stuff eventually. Let's just take it one step at a time, alright?
Sure thing. I love you.
Aw, man, you're making me blush.
Come on, say it back. You're my boyfriend now, right?
Okay, I love you too. Are you gonna sleep soon?
Yep, I gotta walk the dogs like usual.
I'm gonna be so sleepy.
Alright, good night then.
Yeah, good night. Can't wait to see you again. Oh god, hey mom, how have you been? I'm really sorry I haven't contacted you in a really long time. Life's just been keeping me crazy busy, you know?
Oh, why, if it isn't my little Anthony. How have you been? Gosh, I haven't heard from you in ages.
Yeah, again, super sorry about that.
Well, it's fine and dandy that you're texting me, but you need to drop by sometime and let me get a good look at that handsome face of yours. Remember, family is just as important as work.
I know. You've told me that a million times, Mom.
Well, then, how about it?
You're in luck because, as it happens, I was already thinking about stopping by next week. Do you think you can make some time for me?
Do you even need to ask? You're welcome over at my place anytime. You're my son. I'll always make time for you. You could even come knocking on my door at 1 a.m. and I'll open up for you.
Oh, I could never do that to you.
I'm so excited to see you again. I'll be sure to make your favorite bacon and eggs on toast, with the eggs still just a little bit runny, just how you like them. It'd be like old times.
I'm glad to hear that. I do miss you. You know, if I could come over more often, I really would like to. But actually, there's something really important that I need to talk to you about. I love your bacon and eggs on toast, but how about we try something a little more special this time around? Like a barbecue. I know it's been a while since we've seen one another, but maybe that's even more of a reason to go all out like this. So, what do you think? I really do miss your cooking.
Oh, wow. I would never have thought of that. Well, it'd take some time to prepare, but I wouldn't mind at all. It sounds exciting.
That's great to hear.
But I must say you've gotten my interest piqued. What's the little something you needed to tell me about?
Well, I've actually met someone semi-recently, and she's kind of nice. We've been dating for a few months now, and I think we've reached the point where I wanted to introduce her to you.
Wait, don't tell me. So it's not like a friend or anything. It's a girlfriend?
Hehe, something like that.
Oh my god.
Hey, don't get ahead of yourself, alright? I'm not too sure how serious we are at the moment, but we figured introducing our families to one another was something that we really needed to do before we did anything else.
Oh, look at you, becoming your own adult, my little man. I never thought this day would come. They grow up so fast. Why, it feels like it was only just yesterday that I was helping you learn how to ride around the neighborhood on that little tricycle of yours. Do you remember that? One of the wheels came off and we had to have the neighbors fix it.
Oh my god, I can't believe you remembered that. Gosh, that is so embarrassing. I broke that wheel by riding that thing down a hill and falling off it, and I scraped up my knees and my elbow really bad. And then all the neighborhood kids were laughing at me for like a week about it.
Don't let it get you down. You were such a chubby little cutie back then.
Hey, who are you calling chubby?
I mean, well, I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but we gotta state the facts here. You were a little bit over the average BMI, but it's not like that was a bad thing. You had a little bit of baby fat left, and it was very cute. And you made up for it in your spirit and vibrant personality. And now look at you. You're as handsome as your father was.
I don't know about that one.
What? Am I wrong? You're the spitting image of him.
Nah, he was on a totally different level than me. Like, I remember any time he would come and pick me up, all the girls would stare at him. He could have been a model. Everyone wished they could have a dad like him.
By any chance, did they happen to have a thing or two to say about the mother? Something good, perhaps? I think I deserve a bit of praise here, too. I was the backbone of the family.
Of course you were. You were one of the best parts of our family. You were what held us together. I don't know what everyone would have done without you, especially me.
Oh, geez, I was half joking, so I wasn't expecting you to say something so heartfelt. Now you've got me all flustered.
What? It's true. I don't want to get too sappy, but I was thinking the other day about how much I appreciate having you around. I appreciate how you've always been there for me when I needed you the most.
Oh, Anthony, that's so sweet.
You're one in a million. There aren't many stepmoms out there who would care this much about their stepchildren. In fact, the opposite happens way more often where they actually resent them. But I've never even felt an ounce of malice from you. You've always treated me like I was your own blood. I never felt like you loved me any less than you loved my dad.
Hey, come on. I'm just doing what any other mom would have done. There's nothing special about me.
You should give yourself more credit.
Nah, it's all because I have such a great stepson that I'm the person I am today.
I honestly don't know what I would have done without you, especially after Dad passed away. I was so lost. Like he took a piece of my heart with him when he died. And I was thoroughly convinced that from this point on, I was going to be alone, that I needed to prepare myself to do everything on my own. But you were still there. You never once left my side. There's a lot of step-parents out there who would leave their stepchildren to fend for themselves the moment their partners left or passed away, but you didn't. Honestly, Mom, I want you to take my words to heart. You've been the best thing to happen in my life, and my dad would have agreed. You have done so much for us.
Oh, Anthony, this isn't fair. You know I easily get emotional. You're gonna make an old woman cry.
Oops.
Don't get me wrong, I'm over the moon to hear you say all that to me, believe me. But I don't want to get too sentimental in front of you. Now, let's change the subject to talk about the new girlfriend of yours. What does she do? What industry is she involved in? What is it about her that you like?
Whoa, Mom, calm down with the questions.
Sorry, I'm just so excited. I want to learn everything I can about this girl before I meet her. I want to know what you see in her.
Don't worry, you'll learn everything you need to know when you meet her in person.
Boo.
Have patience, Mom, don't worry. Time will fly by before you know it.
I'll try.
In the meantime, I'm almost home, so I better go now. But thanks for talking with me. I can't wait to see you next week.
No worries, honey. You take care. I'll make sure the barbecue this weekend is going to be fabulous.
Hey, babe, thanks for a great day. Your mom sure knows how to cook.
Hey, Marissa, I'm sure my mom would be super happy to hear that. She was so worried about whether or not she should cook something up that would suit your palate. It seems she succeeded.
Yeah, the meal was amazing. Everything was so tasty. I think I need to step up my game so I can be a better girlfriend to you.
Nah, don't worry about it. You're already the perfect one for me.
It seems you surround yourself with the right people, too. I'm really glad you invited me today. I hope we can all spend time together again in the future.
Everyone really enjoyed having you around too, so I'm sure we can work something out in the future. I mean, hopefully we'll be together for a long time, so we can totally make plenty of time to plan more gatherings.
Oh, that sounds great.
I also saw that you and Mom were talking a lot, and that made me really happy to see you guys laughing with each other.
Yeah, she was really funny.
So, what did you guys end up talking about anyway? I was really busy chopping up the veggies, so I couldn't participate in the conversation myself.
Oh, well, you know, some really super generic stuff, nothing special.
Oh?
Yeah, like asking the usual questions to break the ice so we could get to know each other. And I did learn a lot about her. And I was amazed to hear about her story.
Yeah, my mom's pretty amazing, isn't she?
Like, she actually dropped out before high school? That's crazy. Who does that?
Well, there were a lot of complicated circumstances.
And in spite of all that, she managed to raise you? I have to say that's an impressive feat. There aren't many people out there who could manage that.
It's a long story, but overall, I'd say she had a really hard life.
You don't say.
And she's had to work twice as hard as anyone else in order to prove to others that she was capable enough, and it's taken her this far in life. So I'd say she was pretty successful all in all. I'm really proud to have her as a mom, even if we aren't actually blood related.
Yeah, you gotta give the old hag props. Let's face it, most dropouts are seen as really dumb and incapable.
Old hag? Did you just call her that?
I mean, what's wrong with that? It's true that she's old as dirt, isn't she?
Well, I just think there are nicer ways to say that, and you're making it sound like she's already got one foot in the grave. She's not that old.
But yeah, to be honest, I still thought that way up until I met her. So when I found out she was a high school dropout, I think my brain stopped working. Like, I had to recalibrate it. You could practically see the loading symbol over my head. I wonder what your mom must have thought.
That is so funny.
I mean, you can't blame me. I've met a ton of idiots in my life so far, and they've generally been people who dropped out of school way too early for their own good. Probably to waste their time playing video games in their parents' basement. I'm sure they're all regretting their dumb choices when they find out they can't get anything but jobs that require hard labor.
Okay, Marissa, I didn't know that you were so prejudiced against people who were unable to complete their education.
I'm just speaking from experience. People like that are super unpleasant to deal with. They lack a lot of basic skills, like critical thinking.
Just so you know, I don't think it was my mom's fault that she had to drop out. It's not like she didn't like school. She was actually kicked out of her home from a very early age.
Damn, that's crazy. I'm sure they had a good reason why they did that.
I don't think there's any good reason for why you'd kick out your 14-year-old daughter from your home. And they definitely didn't have one. They never wanted to have her in the first place and didn't want an extra mouth to feed. And considering she was just barely old enough to get a job at that point, and going to high school isn't a requirement, they took that as an opportunity to just get rid of her.
Uh-huh.
So she really didn't have a choice. She had to work from that point on.
Oopsie, was that how the story went? I guess my memory is a little bit fuzzy on the details.
I guess you did only just meet her, so you might have been overwhelmed.
Even so, I'm still amazed she managed to raise such a good man like you, on her own as well. Living as a single mom is hard enough on its own without having to deal with a stepchild. She's a real one in a million. No pathetic dropout could do something like that.
Okay, Marissa, enough of the emotionally charged words. That is my mother you're talking about there, and I don't appreciate the way that you've been speaking of her.
Why are you so defensive of her? Again, you're just her stepchild. And she's not even your real mother. She's a stepmom.
That doesn't change anything. She's taking care of me even better than my biological mother. She's the only one I consider my mom.
Anyway, come to think of it, I think I left a couple of my cards at her place when I was at the party, so I think I gotta go back and get them back. I've got a lot of work this week though, so it's gonna take me some time to get there. Do you mind going to pick them up for me?
Sorry, I'm really bogged down with some of the housework at home, to be honest, and I gotta finish up some work on the computer. I won't have much time to go there myself anytime soon. How about you go there in your spare time, and I'll make you a special dinner to welcome you back.
Oh, sounds like a plan. The food you make is always super delicious, so I'm looking forward to it. Too bad it wasn't your mom that you got that talent from.
Hey, Mom, are you home right now? I know you usually go out for your walks around this time of day. Are you listening to Elvis again on your phone? Anyway, I've got something very important to tell you. But I don't want to do it over text. Can I come over and tell you what it is in person instead? I think you'll really like what I'm about to tell you.
Sorry, I'm not out walking. I'm very busy today, so what is it? Don't bother coming over. Just do it over text. Make it quick.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry to bother you then. It really is big news, so I wanted to tell you in person so I could surprise you. But I guess I can compromise. So, here it is. You're never gonna believe it, but I actually got the courage to propose to Marissa. And what's even more unbelievable, she actually said yes to me on the spot. I was absolutely thrilled.
Whoa, whoop-de-doo. I bet you must be over the moon about it.
Well, yeah, like I said, it really is big news. At least for me, I guess. I mean, it's not every day that a person proposes to someone, let alone gets married.
Yep, way to state the obvious.
I'm sorry, Mom, but something seems really off with you today. Are you sick or something?
How about you just mind your own damn business, huh?
Huh? Hey, Mom, what the hell? You never swear like that to me. This isn't like you. You haven't even congratulated me on getting married. I thought you'd be way happier than this. Weren't you all excited when you heard I got a girlfriend for the first time? Yet you aren't excited when I'm finally gonna marry her? Look, is there something wrong? Are you jealous of Marissa or something? Maybe I've done something to annoy you that I don't know about. I'm sorry, you know I can be really clueless about that kind of thing. But I just want to understand, Mom, so whatever it is, just tell me. It's just, I'm kind of hurt by your reaction right now, and I really need an explanation for it. If I've done something, I'm really sorry.
First of all, how about you stop calling me Mom already? Face the facts, I was never your mom in the first place. This was always just a farce to make your dad happy before he died.
Huh?
And what do you even know about me? This isn't like me. As if you ever knew me. What gives you the right to say something like that to me?
What are you even talking about right now? I am so confused. I don't understand. I know some families would have a problem with it, but we've never had an issue with me calling you Mom in the past. But now it's suddenly not okay? Just tell me what happened. I really don't like the way that you're speaking to me right now. It is so unlike you. It's like you've been completely taken over by a different person.
Well, what if I told you the way I'm speaking right now has been the real me this entire time?
Huh?
What, did you actually think I cared about you this whole time? When we aren't even related by blood? Get real. There's no way anybody would honestly love their stepchildren.
Mom, where is this even coming from? Of course you cared about me. Even if you say one thing, your actions up until now have said something completely different. You helped put me through college. You helped keep my father's home so I would always have a place to come back to. You drove me to all my after-school activities when I was still in school. You're the only person who stepped in to help raise me. Not even my own relatives wanted anything to do with me.
Looks like you got the wrong picture. I was doing all that out of obligation.
What obligation? My dad was already long gone by that point.
Whatever. Just understand that I don't care about you in the slightest. You're not my son.
Well, if that's the case, please, explain all those times you supported me. I have fond memories of you coming to cheer me on at all of my soccer games. What about all those times that you sat by my bedside, listening to me about my problems until I fall asleep? If you really didn't care about me, would you have gone so far for me?
It was all a front.
You're still insisting on that?
You don't want to hear the truth, but my heart wasn't invested in any of that. So hurry up and face the facts. Realize that I never meant anything I did. You don't know my true motivation for doing what I've done up until this point.
You sound like you had some kind of ulterior reason, but what could that possibly be? I honestly don't believe what I'm hearing right now. This must be some sort of stupid dream I'm in. There is no way I'm living in a reality where my own mother would pull the rug out from under me the moment I tell her I'm getting married, when she's been waiting for this day my whole life.
You don't know me, Anthony, so stop pretending like you do. Why won't you understand already? You just fell for my ruse. Nothing more, nothing less.
Then answer me this. Why have you done what you've done? Why would you pretend to care about me all this time? Again, what did you get out of it? We could have parted ways the moment my father died, and you could have lived a happy life on your own pursuing something else, like that GED you've always dreamed of getting. Instead, you decided to continue working hard at your job to support me. None of that makes any sense.
It's because of your father.
My father? What does he have to do with any of this? Like I said before, if anything, his death should have been the reason we parted ways.
Of course you wouldn't understand. You can't even imagine the pain I felt when that man passed away. He was my everything. But when I lost him, all I was left with was you, and I didn't know how to ease my pain. To be honest, I could have easily gone down a very dark path. There was a point in my life that I was an alcoholic, and I nearly returned to that. But in that moment of darkness, I saw you. In a lot of ways, you do resemble your father even now. So I deluded myself. I thought if I took care of you and nurtured you, some part of you would remind me of him and I'd feel that same happiness again. I thought I could remember what it was like to be with him again. But now that it's come to this, I realize that I was wrong. You could never replace him. You could never give me that happiness that he gave me. So I don't care to follow you into your new married life. I couldn't care less what happens to you from this point on. You're on your own.
What kind of sick, twisted thinking is that? You can't tell me that this has all been a lie all along. I just can't accept that. I won't. You're my mom. There has to be some kind of other reason for this. Please, what has gotten into you?
Look, it doesn't matter to me whether you believe me or not. Believe what you want. It's up to you. I don't care. But you're getting married now, so why don't you focus on that instead? Don't you have better things to do than pester me? Stop bothering me. I'm not interested in continuing this relationship any longer.
Wow, Becca, I had no idea that this was the kind of person you were all along. My heart is broken. I never thought you would lie to me like this. I thought you were a good person. Don't you ever contact me ever again. I'll never forgive you for this.
Hey, Anthony, I need you to talk to me. I've been really worried about you lately. You've been walking around looking like a zombie.
Marissa.
I know what happened between you and your mother. I heard about everything.
Oh, did you now?
I can't believe the nerve of that woman. Who does she think she is? I can't possibly begin to understand your pain, but I know that you're in a dark place right now, and I want to do my best to support you. Do you want me to come over tonight? I'll cook you some dinner for once. I promise I won't burn it. I've been watching a lot of cooking videos recently, and I think I found a really good recipe for making pizza. I think it's the perfect thing to help you lift your spirits. Something special and fun, you know?
I'm so glad you're here with me. I don't know what I would do without you.
Of course. I'm going to be your future wife. The least I can do is be there for you.
I can't explain the amount of sadness I'm feeling right now. You don't understand how attached I felt to her. I treated her like a mother. Not only that, I treated her like more than a mother. She was like a best friend to me. And oh, all the memories we shared together up until now. To think that they were all fake, that none of it was real. I honestly can't believe what has just happened. My heart is broken.
Anthony, listen, you're going through a lot right now, and I know I have to be super careful with what I say. After all, you're very sensitive at the moment. But allow me to say this. Your mother is an absolute dirtbag. She's a piece of trash. Can't think of a worse woman than someone like her. I mean, how can you talk that way to someone who's had to otherwise grow up alone? You have to be a whole new level of evil to do that. Maybe she found a new boyfriend who doesn't like kids, and she saw it as an excuse to get rid of you.
Thank you for understanding, Marissa. But please, avoid speculations like that. It makes me feel worse than I already do.
Sorry.
I still just can't believe what just happened. None of it makes any sense. I'm just hoping that someday she'll give me a proper explanation for all of this, one that I can actually believe. To be that invested in me up until this point, only to flip like a switch like this, I know that something else has to be going on here. This isn't her heart speaking. There's something else that's causing her to speak this way to me, and I want to know what the truth is.
Wait, I'm confused now. You're acting like you intend to speak to her again after everything she said to you? Don't tell me you're actually entertaining the idea of forgiving a piece of trash like her.
Well, you have to understand.
Understand what?
Let me finish. I know she said some horrible things, and I did also tell her to never contact me again. But there's still a part of me that believes in our relationship.
Oh, that's just wishful thinking.
It might be, but I'm telling you, we had genuine happiness there in our lives. I can't believe for a second that it was all just a lie. I'm thinking about trying to talk to her again after the wedding. Maybe there's a chance I can still find out what's going on. If I can't manage to get through to her, if everything still feels fruitless, then I might have to give up on her altogether. There's not going to be much more I can do from that point on.
Okay, hold on, babe. Let me get this straight. What do you mean after the wedding?
Well, I'm going to invite her to the wedding and talk to her afterwards.
No way! Even after all the awful things she said, you're still gonna let a piece of trash like her attend our wedding? That's supposed to be the happiest day of our lives.
Like I said, there's absolutely something more going on beneath the surface, and I want to understand that mystery. I need her to give me one more chance to reignite our friendship. But that being said, this will be her last chance. Whether or not she wants to burn this bridge will be entirely up to her, because I'm not going to try and cling to her forever.
That's right. You shouldn't be clinging to a woman who you don't have any blood relations with. Seriously, step back and think this through. Is she really worth all this? No matter what, I don't think it's going to be very healthy for you to continue having a relationship with her anyway. Just think about what your life's going to start looking like from now on. You work at a big-name company, and you're marrying into her equally as prestigious and rich family. We're not a bunch of dropouts. Do you understand me?
What are you getting at here?
Look, all I'm saying is that this whole fiasco with that mom of yours, it could be a blessing in disguise. As they say, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. It's for the best you cut ties with someone like her no matter what.
Wait, so are you implying I should have cut her off even if she hasn't said those kinds of things to me?
Think about the type of people who will be attending our wedding. It'll be full of the higher class, the upper echelons of society. Now imagine that dirty traitor of yours there. She'd stand out like a pimple on the Mona Lisa. You don't want her to be there. Other people won't want her to be there. And I especially don't want her to be there.
Let me guess, it's because she's a pathetic dropout that doesn't deserve to be around your people. And if someone like her attends our wedding, you treat her like a blight on society who doesn't belong there. You wouldn't even try to make her feel welcomed.
Exactly, babe. You hit the nail on the head. This is a situation where no one's going to be happy if she's there. Even she herself wouldn't be. So let's just keep things the way they are. Let's not try to fix anything. She's already shown her true colors to you. Shouldn't that be enough? It's time you gave up on her.
Really now? Is that honestly the best kind of advice that you could give?
Of course. As a woman who actually cares for you, any advice you hear from me is the best kind of advice anyone can give you. You don't need an old crone like her. You have a new woman in your life now.
Marissa, I can't believe you.
What? You can't believe how adorable and loving I am? I know, honey. That's why we're perfect together.
Yeah, right.
Huh?
You're full of nothing but lies. Just admit what you've done already.
Excuse me? Why are you acting like I've just committed a crime? I haven't done anything.
Spit it out already. I figured everything out.
I don't understand. What are you even talking about right now? All I'm doing is trying to show you some support like a good girlfriend should. So why are you getting angry at me all of a sudden? What, are you actually into Mean Girls and you're bothered by how nice I am?
No, I'm angry because you won't fess up to what you've done. You said something to my mother the other day, didn't you?
The other day? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Marissa, quit the act. I don't want to sit here and play these stupid games with you. I want to hear it from your own mouth. Did you say something to upset my mother? Out with it already.
I don't know, maybe a couple words in passing?
Uh-huh.
But then again, so what if I did? That woman's beneath me. I can say whatever the hell I want to her. Not only that, but I'm gonna be the one marrying you now, so I'll be the woman of the house, not her. You won't need any other woman in your life except me, so she needs to know her place.
Wow.
A younger, more capable woman is here to take care of everything you need. We don't need some old high school dropout to interfere with our new fabulous life together. She'll just put an ugly stain on all of the new memories we'll share together.
Well, thanks for letting the cat out of the bag. I knew something was suspicious. So you actually did say something to her. I don't know what you told her, Marissa, but whatever you did was out of line. You had no right to do that, especially without my permission. I want her to be at our wedding. I want her to be a part of my life. You're important to me, but so is she. You're not the only one around here that matters. So tell me, what were those words that you told her? Why don't you say what they were? Go on, share them. And I want you to go straight to her now and apologize. You need to set things straight.
You're not the boss of me.
Excuse me?
Now, why the hell would I do any of that? This is all working out according to the natural order of this world. She's not meant to come to the wedding. Don't you understand? I will not be having trash like her there.
Just what exactly do you have against her in the first place? Please enlighten me, because I'd like to really understand how someone could be so prejudiced. What, is being a dropout a crime? Is the fact that she dropped out of high school really that big of a deal to you? Even knowing the circumstances? Do you even realize what she's done for me up until now? All the sacrifices she's made.
Yawn.
She only knew me for 3 years. She dated my father for 3 years before he sadly passed away. At that time, my mom and I weren't especially close to each other. She had every right to distance herself from me and leave me on my own. Her obligations to entertain me as my father's son were over. And I was just a normal boy. But in spite of all of that, she went out of her way to start raising me herself. She's someone who isn't even related to me by blood, but she's treated me better than any of my blood-related family members who were going to put me up for adoption instead of taking me in. So how can you tell me to throw someone like that away without a fight? That's like asking me to throw away all those years I spent together with her.
Listen, Anthony, I hear where you're coming from, but this is a very difficult situation we're in.
Difficult how? What's complicated? You don't understand crap.
You need to make a decision.
What decision?
I understand that you care very much about your mother, but you also care about me, right? So here's your ultimatum. It's either me or her. Which one is it going to be? And before you answer, no, you can't have both. It's either me, Your new stunning and beautiful wife who's got stacks of cash and a good job? Or your dropout, good-for-nothing mother? Be honest with yourself. Don't let your emotions influence your decisions. Think rationally. Don't choose based on who helped you in the past. Choose which person will give you a better future. So, which would you rather keep in your life?
Marissa, I swear to God, stop being overdramatic right now already. I don't need to choose between either of you. So jot that down. She's my mother, and she'll always be my mother. As for you, well, I feel like I need to know more about you now, because I honestly didn't take you for the kind of woman who would act like this.
Excuse me? What more about me do you need to know?
Clearly more than I already have. Because you've always been so nice up until this point. I've seen the way that you talk to people, and I see that you're always so friendly to them. Naturally, I saw that as a sign that you were a good person at heart. But then you suddenly change your tune when it comes to my mother? That's discrimination no matter how you look at it.
No, it's not. I just like to be careful about the kind of people I let into my life. That's something everyone does.
No, you're not doing it based off of her personality. You're looking at the fact that she's a high school dropout and how she's not related by blood to me and deciding that she isn't worthy of your respect. And honestly, someone who does that isn't the kind of woman I want by my side for the rest of my life. So explain yourself. Why do you think it's okay to talk about my mother this way?
So it's come to this, huh? Well, that makes sense. I guess you've never really tasted success your whole life like I have. So I shouldn't have ever expected you to understand. But honey, the kings and queens of the world don't associate themselves with the rats.
Excuse me?
It's as simple as that. Your mother is way too below my status to associate myself with. If I allow her into my life, people are going to start looking down on me. She'll drag me down to her level, and I'll be the laughingstock of my family. Do you understand? We live in two different worlds, and in my society, people get judged on things like this. There's almost nothing more important than the kinds of people you decide to keep around you. Believe me, I'd love to get married to you, but she's just one glaring issue that's keeping that from happening, and we have to get that out of the way as soon as possible.
Marissa, oh my God.
What?
You are such an idiot. I can't believe this. Why are you telling me all of this now?
Better late than never.
No. If this was that big of an issue for you, you should have broken up with me the moment you heard about my mother. Right? Isn't that reasonable? But instead of doing the rational thing here, you actually let me propose to you, and you said yes. You made me think I was the one for you. So I don't understand. Why the hell did you do that?
Why not? I can't even believe you're asking that right now.
Excuse me?
I mean, take a look at yourself, Anthony. You're drop-dead gorgeous and the most handsome man I've ever seen. And not only that, but you make good money. Who wouldn't want to marry you? And honestly, I was hoping you'd come to your senses eventually because, you should have already known that status is everything for our kind.
So that's the reason, is it? You were only after me for my looks and my money.
Of course. What else is there?
I didn't know you were such a simpleton. I thought you were better than this, Marissa. You aren't like the other girls out there. In fact, you're even worse than them. I can't believe I ever let you into my life.
Okay, fine. Since you want to know so bad, I guess I'll go more in depth. When I first heard about your mother's situation, my first thought was that for someone who was raised by a pathetic dropout, you've actually managed to do well for yourself. I mean, take a look at you and your position in your company. You're one of the top salespeople there. It's actually super impressive. So you should be proud of yourself. Not only that, but you should be proud of yourself for scoring a hottie like me. You've been dealt a nasty hand of cards, but you've made the best of it. That's something I really appreciate. Do you understand? If you want to break down my reasons for marrying you to their very core, then yes, technically I want to marry you for looks and money. But as you can see, it actually is more than that. And of course, I'd want to marry someone like you who does have these kinds of qualities.
Well, I am very sorry to have to break this bad news to you, but I don't think I can do this anymore.
What do you mean by that? Do what?
While I'm glad for all of your words of praise for me, I can't get over the fact that you despise my mother to the extent that you do. That is a huge deal breaker for me. I don't think that this is going to work out in the long run. We haven't gotten married yet, so there shouldn't be any issues with breaking off our engagement since no major plans have been set into motion yet. There aren't any major repercussions. So thank you for everything up until this point, but I think this is the end for us.
Hey, no, don't tell me you're doing what I think you're doing right now.
I am.
Are you actually breaking up with me? There's no way you're serious about this, are you?
I am dead serious.
No, you can't be. This is the first time anything like this has happened to me.
Well, there's a first for everything. And you've left me with no choice. Since you forced me to make a decision, I'd rather choose my mother over you. It is true that she hurt me and said those awful things to me. But while I don't know what her exact motivations for that were, I've realized that you're a mean person down to your very core. And honestly, I don't want to associate with someone like that for the rest of my life. I'd be embarrassed to have to introduce you to people as my wife, knowing that this is the kind of person you are.
You selfish man! How dare you think you have the luxury of doing that to me? You're staying with me. You don't have a choice.
Excuse me? What are you? Some kind of dictator? You don't get to tell me what I can and I can't do. Whoever I want to be with is my choice, and my choice alone. You don't get any say in it. And I'm choosing not to be with you. I don't care about your feelings. You're just gonna have to accept the reality of the situation.
Oh, no, you don't. Don't you dare think you can get away with this so easily. Sure, we might be breaking up now, but I'll just tell people that the real reason why is because I found out that you were cheating on me, and so that's why I had to break up with you. So I'll ask you once again, are you going to choose me or your mother? If I were you, I'd choose wisely. There's an obvious better pick. It's hardly even a choice.
Who the hell do you think you are? What is wrong with you? Why would you do something so sick? Man, I am learning more and more about you and your true colors with every second, huh? I shudder to think about what would have happened if I'd gone through with our marriage without knowing that this was who you really were. You know what? I've had enough. Say whatever you want. If the people around you take you seriously, fine. I don't give a damn. I have faith that the truth will be revealed sooner or later, and that everyone will understand that you speak nothing but lies. As for me, I'm not staying with you for another second. Our relationship is done for, and now I need to go to my mother and apologize for your stupid actions. Now, if you'll excuse me.
I'm warning you. I'm really gonna do it. Answer me, Anthony, you stupid jerk.
Hey, Mom. I know it's been a while, but I really need to talk to you. I hope that's okay with you. I know things have gotten pretty awkward between us now, but I want to set things right. Firstly, I need to apologize. I had no idea what had happened. In fact, I still don't know what happened. I have no idea what Marissa told you, but I don't want you to think anything of it. Every word that she said was a lie and isn't worth listening to. I don't want you to care about your academic record. There's nothing wrong with dropping out of school. You didn't have a choice. And unlike her, I don't think it affects you as a person. I need you to understand that. I want to keep you in my life forever.
Oh my God, Anthony. I can't believe you're the one who's reaching out to me. You shouldn't be the one apologizing here. It should be me. So please let me apologize. The things I said the other day, oh my God, I'm sure they were so hurtful. I thought this had all been for the best, but looking back, I think I should have told you about what happened between Marissa and me. I think if I had just explained myself back then I wouldn't be having to do it all now after the damage has been done.
Mom.
When she had first made fun of me and my lack of education, sure, I was pretty mad. In fact, I flew into a rage. You know how I usually don't tolerate people who do that to me, right?
Yeah.
So I told her to get her cards and to get the hell out of my house. But after some time had passed, I began to think over it some more. I mean, on paper, Marissa is a great woman. She has so many more things that she can offer you than I can. I mean, sure, you and I have history, so even if I can't offer much else, I can offer you emotional support. But Marissa, I felt that I couldn't possibly match what she could offer you. And so I thought it'd be best if I was out of the picture entirely. So, the day you told me that you guys were going to get married, I thought it was the perfect time for me to leave. And believe me, I was extremely sad that day. I couldn't stop crying afterwards. To be honest, even though I know I should have been the one to do so, I'm glad you reached out to me. Because of that, you know the truth now. And now you understand the real reason I must leave you. Goodbye, Anthony. Have a good life.
Mom, you fool, what are you thinking right now? This is insane. Why are you worrying about something as stupid as an academic record?
Anthony?
You're not the one who's wrong here, it's Marissa, and she should be the one apologizing. So please, don't blame yourself for this.
No, the truth is that I'm an embarrassment. I want better things for you. I wish I were a better, more capable woman.
Are you even hearing yourself right now?
Of course I am. I've thought through this over and over again.
No, you're being ridiculous. You can't be a better woman because you're the best. There's nobody out there that can match you. Besides, I have something to tell you, which is why I'm contacting you. But I just don't want you to apologize for what's happened again.
Oh no, where is this going?
Well, I have some good news, I guess. But in retrospect, it might be considered kind of bad, actually. Anyway, let me get straight to the point. After finding out about Marissa's true nature, I made a decision. She's not the kind of woman I want in my life. There's no way in hell I'll marry someone like her, so you don't need to worry about anyone judging you anymore. Please, just be yourself, shamelessly.
Oh my God, what have you done? You silly boy, how could you throw away such a good woman like that?
Oh, Mom, what are you talking about? Shouldn't this be great news? Why would you want me to stay with someone that judgmental? If she was judging you that harshly, imagine what she does to anyone else behind my back.
Oh, that woman may have had her faults, but she definitely could have provided you with support for a good life not many others could. I don't know, I just really think you made the wrong decision here, and it's all because of me.
Okay, Mom, but putting aside her good looks and her family's money, do you actually think she's a good person to be with for the long term? Could you see her making me happy?
If I'm allowed to be honest, then no, I don't see her making you happy.
See?
But I could see you happy to be with her. And I thought I had to support you marrying her, even if I had a very bad first impression of her. The last thing I want to be is a nasty mother-in-law from hell.
Oh my God, Mom, I'm holding my head in my hands as we speak. I can't believe you're only telling me this now.
What do you mean?
If you've always had a negative impression of her, why didn't you just tell me? I could have avoided this whole mess before it blew up in our faces.
It's like I said, you just looked so happy with her. I felt I had no right to say you shouldn't marry her, especially since I've overall spent far less time with her. Besides, I've never seen you with a girl before, and I loved seeing you in love for once. I thought it was very special, and I just really didn't want to ruin it.
You're like my guardian angel. You're always looking out for me. I'm sorry, Mom, but your good heart has gotten us into a big mess. I wish you had been honest from the very beginning.
I'm sorry.
But then again, I think things are going to start looking up from here on out. After all, I can take this as a lesson. I should properly vet any woman before I decide to try and marry her. I need to really be sure I know who she is as a person, so something like this never happens again.
Well, if I could help you learn something in life, I couldn't be happier. And hey, listen, if you need someone to check whether a girl you're looking at is right for you, don't look past your own mother. I'll make sure that you'll get a girl who'd never hurt you.
Thanks, Mom. You don't know how much it means to me to have you supporting me, even after all this time. I'm so glad that you didn't mean anything you said back then, and that this is really who you are in the end. I don't know how I would get through anything without you. But don't worry about the next girl I bring in. I know exactly what kind of woman I shouldn't be looking for, as well as the kind of woman I should be seeking.
And what type of person would that be?
Someone humble, loyal, and responsible. Just like you. After that, I decided to formally cut ties with Marissa altogether. It seemed she had been still holding on to some hope that talking to my mom wouldn't have changed anything, but honestly, it only sealed her fate. I told her about what my mom and I talked about, and boy, she was furious. She desperately tried to convince me that my mother was lying and that none of what she was saying was true. She then proceeded to blow up my phone with messages begging me to stay, so I had to block her to put a stop to that. It then began getting a little bit scary. She started sending me letters to my house, showing up at my workplace, sending me emails. After I'd had her escorted out a few times, I decided to file a restraining order. When her family heard this, they were extremely embarrassed. They had no idea about this entire situation. They came to me to apologize profusely and paid me back for the ring that I had bought for Marissa when I proposed. And while they mentioned wanting to disown her for the embarrassment she caused, she was instead barred from using her family's money. And as fate would have it, she'd gotten demoted in her job for lack of performance. I always did wonder why she was always free to go out for dates no matter the time or place. It seemed that the reason was that she was straight up calling out every time. Because her family stopped giving her financial support, she had to move out into a much cheaper apartment in the bad part of town, and I heard that her family no longer likes to talk about her. Even if they say they hadn't disowned her, it seems they effectively did, huh? During that whole fiasco, Marissa had been doing her absolute best to try and slander me, but she had very little success. She started from the spots where we used to have our dates at, restaurants, cafes, bars. She even went directly to my workplace to try and spread rumors about me. She'd tell them that I cheated on her and that's why we had to break off our engagement. Just like she warned me, she began trying to spread those kinds of lies about me. Unfortunately for her, I had a very good reputation amongst my coworkers, so no one believed her. Instead, all of that lying came back to bite her when people started spreading gossip about her. On top of her demotion, people started to ostracize her, and rumors of our failed wedding spread very fast. It even reached my brother's ears, who happened to be her boss. I had never told my brother about anything that had been going on, so it was the first time that he'd heard that Marissa had tried to bar our mother from coming to the wedding. So he flew into a rage, to say the least. Obviously, he'd already demoted her once, and to demote her again or fire her for personal matters was unprofessional. But he found other implicit ways to make her life as painful as possible. He always makes snide comments whenever she walks into the office, and gives her piercing stares all the way from his desk, imbuing her with pressure from the very start of the day. Other ways he likes to torment her is by shouting her name out, pretending she did something wrong, but then asking her to do a menial task for him. He's having his fun with her, and I have no intention of stopping him. As for me, I'm slowly recovering from dodging that bullet. My relationship with my mother is back to normal, and we're doing all the things that we used to do when we were younger. I've been able to trust and open up to her a lot more than I was able to when I was dating Marissa. Marissa is the first girl I've ever been with, and I've never really known how to avoid women who aren't good for me because I've had very little experience with them. But I have to admit, I would still like to get married one day, before I'm 40 at least, but I'm not picky. After what happened, my friends volunteered to check out any girls I bring before I start trying to do anything serious with them. Not only that, but with the support of my mother and her advice, I'm sure the next girl that I let into my life will be perfect for me. My first question on my dates from now on will always be, what's your opinion on high school dropouts? Thank you for watching all the way to the end. If you enjoyed it, please remember to click the like button. See you in the next video.